my friend, and one of AARP's picks for hot young comics under 60, Scott Schaefer.
You're not under 60.
Yeah. Right on. Wow. Couldn't be proud. You know, when Kamala asked me to do stand-up comedy for Swing Left, I was really excited because I had never done stand-up comedy for a group of swingers before. And I gotta say, what? No, what? Swing Left? What? Oh, swing states? Is that what this is?
Swing states.
Oh, swing states. Oh, my bad. I had to joke about Episcopalians and groups. I'll tell you later. Anyway, yeah. Well, geez, I mean, politics is so dry and boring, right? Like, there's nothing really happening in politics. What can you say? I mean, impeachment, I guess. We can talk about that a little bit, maybe. You know, I'm not really in favor of impeachment myself. I would prefer annulment. You know, just erase the last 3 years. But I will take impeachment. I will take it. You know, I was thinking lately about Donald Trump and Miles Davis for some reason. Like, hear me out. So, like, Miles Davis, he used to say, like, you know, to his band, if you play a wrong note, hit it again, right? Donald Trump is like the Miles Davis of political corruption. Think about it. He's like, he got busted for trying to shake down Ukraine for dirt on the Bidens. And what does he do? He goes on TV and he's like, hey, China, do you have any dirt on the Bidens? You know? He's like, Biden, got any dirt? This is illegal. You know? And his fans are like, wow, he's such a master. You know, he's a master of political corruption. Like, that's not a good thing, you know? And they're like, what? But look, he gets away with it. Yeah, you let him get away with it, you know? Every time. So, anyway, yeah. Okay, they're not all gonna win. I think, you know, Donald Trump, he promised to drain the swamp. And I think he did, honestly. But it turned out the swamp was inside him all along, right? And it's bottomless. And he drained it into the White House. And by extension, he's just draining it onto all of us, you know? Like, the thing is about Hunter Biden, as far as I can tell, Hunter Biden's crime was doing business while Biden. Like, you know, and Joe Biden, you know, there's nothing there. But meanwhile, Ivanka Trump, she has an official position in the White House as senior advisor that he gave to her, right? Yeah, an official position. She's almost, and she is getting trademarks from China, I don't know if you've heard this, for voting machines. Yeah. It's like, how do writers of dystopian fiction keep up with this shit? That's what it's, so, yeah. I don't know if we're going to be allowed to vote Trump out, honestly. I mean, like, our votes didn't really count the last time, but it really may come down to the Senate, and that's why we're here, try to flip the Senate. The Senate, when I was younger, I used to think that the Senate was like the elite side of Congress. So, you know, you have got the House, which, like, California has 53 representatives to the House, right? Like, if you had 53 pets, you wouldn't even name them all, right? You know? But the Senate, it's like 100 members. It's like the metric system, right? Like 2 from each state. It's just, right. But then, you know, the Senate is actually what you get if you were putting together a fantasy basketball team and you got to pick the 2 best players from the Warriors, the 2 best from the Lakers, and the 2 best from St. Vincent's High School, and, you know, the 2 best from the Knicks, and the 2 best from whoever is playing at the park right now. You know, that's what the Senate is. You know, like Wyoming, nobody lives in Wyoming. They have the same number of senators as California. You know? Like, that is some really well-represented dirt they have there in Wyoming. And I think the representation of dirt is really reflected in our politics today, you know? Which is really, I mean, it's unfair to dirt. And it was unfair to swamps earlier. Like, those things are great in their proper context. But, yeah. So, honestly, I think what we have to do is we have to abolish the Senate, right? Are we going to abolish the Senate? Are we going to abolish the Senate? Okay, yeah. We're going to try to. Fair enough. Okay, so let's see. So we're looking at some vulnerable races right now. We have first up, just Cory Gardner in Colorado. He's a big Trump supporter, big proponent of the border wall. I think he has border envy, is what it is. Like Colorado has the most boring borders in the entire country. It's just one rectangle. I think that's part of what's going on. But he's just pro-Trump and everything, and really anti-environment. He was asked during a debate, do you think humans are contributing to climate change? And he said, well, that's a really important question, and one we shouldn't say yes or no to. Right? He's like, on the really important questions, don't express an opinion that might alienate your donors, right? But, you can see how he votes, and it's pretty anti-Earth, I hope he's going down with Trump. The best thing I can say about him is he's got really, really good hair. He looks like a JCPenney model, and maybe he should, reach out to them for a career modeling clothes for straight people, because, I think he's going down with Trump. Yeah?
Yeah!
Okay. Cory Gardner. Okay, on to Maine. Susan Collins. Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of fans here. I think we should give her some credit for, shattering the glass ceiling, showing that a woman can be every bit as pandering and spineless and reprehensible as a man. She did that. She voted yes on the GOP billionaire enrichment bill, the tax bill, they called it. And she said, yeah, this will put more money into workers' paychecks. Right. Yeah, so the Economic Policy Institute just came out with a report that said in 2018, worker bonuses went up by 1 penny. Meanwhile, we added, I don't know, 3 trillion to the debt, something crazy like that, but they went up by 1 penny. And the thing is, I'm mad about this because my company does not give out bonuses. And where is my penny? That's what I want to know. She voted yes on Kavanaugh. She said she found Christine Blasey Ford's testimony to be credible and compelling, and by extension, Kavanaugh was lying his ass off as a sexual predator, but she voted yes, after some hand-wringing, which is really, that's the difference between the moderate and the, conservative Republican, is like the hand-wringing, They all seem to vote up on party lines, but, so Lindsey Graham, he said, if you vote no on Kavanaugh, you are legitimizing one of the most despicable things I've seen in my life in politics. Like, that's your, Republican. And when he says that, you gotta keep in mind that this is a guy who every morning gets up, looks in the mirror, and sees Lindsey Graham, right? So, you should know about despicable things. So speaking of which, Mitch McConnell.
Ditch Mitch!
Say what you want about Mitch McConnell.
Ditch Mitch!
You have to say what you want about Mitch McConnell.
Dirtbag asshole!
Oh, that guy. So he is the reason that Donald J. Trump got to pick 2 Supreme Court justices, right? And if there are any time travelers in the audience, I don't know, but if you just thought you want to check out what America was like in 2019, the phrase Donald J. Trump got to pick 2 Supreme Court justices should tip you off. You were in the wrong timeline. And you need to get back in your time machine and also take us with you. Because there's no timeline in which Donald J. Trump should be president, right? I mean, there was, no, yeah. Mitch, yeah, he's, also kind of anti-immigrant, pro-border wall. Not unreasonable, if you're a buddy of his and you own a poultry packing plant, he'll look the other way. You need some undocumented workers, right? But basically anti-dreamer. Interestingly though, if you're in Russia and you want to root around in our servers where they record our votes, he's all about the Southern hospitality, right? He's like, yeah, would you like some vodka on your sweet tea, Vlad? How could anyone be against election security bills? That's just crazy. So, but yeah, that's That's the modern Republican Party for you. Let's see. Well, okay. I think just one more. We're in the South here. Maybe turn to like one of the worst of the worst. Deep red state, Alabama. Doug Jones. That's what I'm talking about. This guy. He's the good one. He's the good one. Right, Doug Jones. Right, okay. It's still a swing race. It could go either way. He was running against a guy, Roy Moore, who, wanted to make being gay a crime and statutory rape legal. That guy. He rode into horse to cast his vote from. Guys, you know the phrase, "Fuck you" and the horse you rode in on. So, trivia fact: Roy Moore rode in on that horse. Vote for himself. I wasn't sure if that joke would work.
It totally works.
It makes no sense. I kept it for rims. All right. So Alabama makes me think about just how hard it must be to be a progressive in a red state or a purple state. We have a resist sign in our garage here in Petaluma, and so we got a nasty letter from one of our neighbors that said, "What are you resisting? Yard work?" You know? But really, I mean, that's all the flack that we've gotten. You know, but just imagine being progressive in Alabama, just how hard that must be. So, I'm just reminded. One other jazz great said, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing, right? And that's never more true than when it comes to voting in America, right? Like, it's all about the swing states, and we got to show our sisters and brothers and those swing states some love. Swing low, swing for the bleachers, and swing left.
Yeah!